In this video, we explore the bold and controversial actions taken by former President Donald Trump as he initiated his agenda to reshape climate policy in the United States. From withdrawing from the Paris Agreement to the suspension of renewable energy projects, Trump made a series of strategic moves that fundamentally altered the nation's approach to climate change. We'll break down each pivotal decision, including the declaration of an energy emergency and the rollbacks of critical environmental regulations, to illustrate how these steps aim to prioritize fossil fuel extraction over sustainability. Join us as we uncover the implications of dismantling federal climate agencies and the lasting impact on America's environmental future. 1. Withdrawal from the Paris Agreement. One of the most striking actions was President Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the Paris Agreement. By signing Executive Order 14,162, Trump directed the immediate exit from this crucial international climate commitment. The Paris Agreement, which sought to combat climate change by reducing global greenhouse gas emissions, saw the U.S., a major contributor to these emissions, stepping away from its responsibilities. This withdrawal raised questions about the future of global climate cooperation and the U.S.'s role in it. For many, it felt like a step backward, akin to turning off the headlights while driving through a foggy night. 2. Suspension of renewable energy projects. The Trump administration also placed a hold on federal approvals for wind projects and froze funding for solar initiatives. This move prioritized fossil fuels over renewable energy sources, signaling a shift in energy policy direction. By suspending these projects, the administration effectively put a damper on the growth of renewable energy, which had been gaining momentum. This decision was seen as a setback for those advocating for clean energy solutions to combat climate change. It was like pausing a song just as it was reaching its crescendo, leaving many in anticipation of what could have been. 3. Declaration of an energy emergency. In a bid to expedite fossil fuel development, President Trump declared an energy emergency. This initiative excluded renewable energy, focusing solely on fossil fuels. The declaration aimed to accelerate the extraction and use of these resources, which many environmentalists viewed as a threat to sustainability efforts. By sidelining renewable energy, the administration seemed to be prioritizing short-term economic gains over long-term environmental health, much like choosing fast food over a balanced meal for immediate satisfaction. 4. Suspension of new offshore wind leases. An executive order was issued to suspend new federal offshore wind leases. This decision led states like New Jersey to halt awarding new offshore wind contracts. Offshore wind projects, seen as a significant contributor to clean energy, faced an uncertain future under this suspension. The halt was akin to stopping a train mid-journey, leaving passengers unsure of when or if they would reach their destination. This move had implications for states looking to harness the power of wind to meet their energy needs sustainably. 5. Reversal of environmental regulations. The Trump administration initiated actions to roll back various environmental regulations. These regulations were designed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect clean air and water. By reversing these policies, the administration aimed to ease restrictions on industries, potentially at the cost of environmental health. This rollback was seen as a step away from progress, much like erasing a carefully drawn map and leaving travelers to navigate without guidance. The potential consequences for public health and the environment were significant. 6. Freezing federal clean energy funding. Executive orders were issued to pause funding from the Inflation Reduction Act and bipartisan infrastructure law, affecting federal grants and loans related to clean energy projects. This freeze left many projects in limbo, uncertain about their future. The decision was likened to putting a promising student on hold, denying them the resources needed to excel. For those invested in clean energy, it was a moment of frustration and uncertainty. 7. Dismantling federal climate policies. Federal climate policies were put on hold, casting doubt on the U.S.'s ability to meet its emissions reduction targets. This suspension raised concerns about the country's commitment to combating climate change. It was as if the gears of a clock were suddenly stopped, leaving time to drift without direction. The implications for both domestic and international climate efforts were profound, with many wondering how these changes would affect global climate goals. 8. Reducing climate finance assistance. Internationally, the U.S. was expected to reduce climate finance assistance to vulnerable nations. This reduction had the potential to impact global efforts to combat climate change, leaving vulnerable countries without the necessary support. It was akin to pulling the rug out from under those standing on shaky ground, leaving them struggling to maintain balance. The decision raised questions about the U.S.'s role as a global leader in climate action. 9. Merging USAID with the State Department. Plans were announced to merge the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, with the State Department. This merger had potential implications for international environmental aid programs. The move was seen as a consolidation of efforts, but also raised concerns about the focus and effectiveness of aid delivery. It was like combining two separate recipes into one dish, with the risk of losing the unique flavors of each. 10. Promotion of fossil fuel extraction. The administration promoted fossil fuel extraction by opening more land and waters for drilling and mining. This promotion often came at the expense of environmental protections, raising alarms among conservationists. The decision was akin to opening Pandora's box, unleashing consequences that could be difficult to control. For those advocating for environmental preservation, it was a challenging time, as the balance between development and protection seemed to tip towards the former.